Hey there, I'm Tori Beach, and I'm a solo wedding videographer. The reception is so much fun, and there's a lot going on, but at the same time, there's some really important moments to capture. So how do I get all those moments with just being one person? When it comes to the reception, I feel like I can finally take a deep breath. I've made it past all the really important moments. Not saying that things in the reception aren't important, but it really is the most fun of the entire day. Because the reception is a lot of fun, I try to shoot in that way. So just getting smiling shots of the guests and keeping things at 24 frames per second, not so much slow motion at this point, really helps to keep that feeling of it being fast and fun and exciting. Now with the reception, I'm usually just shooting with one camera. So when it comes to the entrance, I set it up in a place that I know the bride and the groom are gonna walk past me and maybe I can follow them for a little bit, but I don't do anything crazy with this. I like to have my on-camera microphone running because being able to hear the DJ announcing them for the first time into the room is a lot of fun, and then the cheers from all the guests. So making sure that I'm recording audio at this point is really important. Now, most first dances are pretty simple. They don't have anything crazy or choreographed. So I try to get as many shots of it from different angles as possible. Now, when the dance is choreographed, I always like to try to have two cameras. So sort of like the ceremony, I have a wide and then I have a close-up / roaming camera. The biggest thing is to make sure to get the dance in its entirety. And that's the reason that they have you there, and it's fun for them to be able to watch the whole thing. The other thing that I try to do is get the bride and the groom to confide in me about any surprise dances. Knowing that I have a choreographed dance coming really does change how I shoot it. Now the speeches I tend to shoot pretty simply. What I like to do is I like to have the bride and the groom near the person who's giving the speech. That way I can have all of them in the same shot together. However, it's not impossible to set up two shots at this point, just making sure that your bride and groom are sitting at the spot that you need them to, either at their head table or maybe some special chairs that are put out into the middle of the floor, and then setting up your camera there and then doing a second camera as a close-up on the person giving a speech is definitely doable. As far as audio at this point, I do hand over the reins to the DJ. So I go ahead and hook up my recorder to their soundboard and record the audio straight from there. But I always have an on-camera microphone on my camera, and that's pointed at the person who's giving the speech. So if anything weird happens with the DJ, I know I can fall back to the audio that's being recorded on my camera. Now, cutting the cake is crazy, and I'm just going to say that because I feel like there's a whole horde of people that run over there. So being able to keep your eye on where the photographers are is really important to make sure that they're there as well, because the bride and the groom won't cut the cake without the photographers there. So with this one as well, I do get pretty much a medium shot of the event. I like to get it from an angle where I can see the knife cutting into the cake, but then also that I can see them feeding it to one another. I don't like to be really close or zoomed in at this point because if for some reason it breaks out into a food fight, which I've had happen before, then I don't want to be too close and miss a moment. Also be sure to get footage of the cake before it is cut, because more times than not, as soon as they finish cutting it, someone is whisking that cake away to be cut up and served, and then you're not able to shoot it anymore. Now, if the bride and groom are doing a bouquet and garter toss, this is a little bit tricky because, again, just being one person, you're gonna have to do a little bit of maneuvering. This all happens so fast, so I try to shoot it documentary style, meaning trying to keep everything in focus and in framing and not getting any really artistic shots. I just need to document the moment. When the bride and the groom are ready to throw, if you can, get in front of the bride. So this way you have the bride in front and in focus, and then if you're good enough, rack your focus back to the crowd once she's thrown the bouquet. Same thing with the groom. Now, sometimes I've had to shoot it from the side just because there wasn't room in the front. So one thing that I do is I will frame up the groom or the bride. So as soon as they throw the bouquet or garter, I quickly follow it like a sports shot and then focus in on the group and see what happens. And a lot of times this just is chaotic in the way that it's shot, but it's a good representation of the chaoticness that is that whole moment anyway. So the reception is a lot of fun and it's kind of crazy and people start to relax and have a good time. So my only tip is just relax and have fun. Enjoy it, get the shots that you need to, but really have fun with this. What questions do you have for me? Do you have any suggestions for a future video? I would love to hear your comments and suggestions, so please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Thanks so much.